This is one of the toughest pills to swallow, but by the end of this video, you will not look at money the same way. A few years ago, someone once told me, your bank account is directly tied to your self-worth. And back then, I couldn't understand it, and I wasn't doing well with money. And I kind of took a bit of an offense to it, but the more I actually thought about what this person said, the more it made sense. When I worked in corporate, now we're talking about 8 years ago, this specific event happened. I walked into a meeting with my superiors to be given more responsibilities. That was it. That was the purpose of the meeting. I walked out with a promotion and a pay rise of just under 6,000 euros. Now, back then, we're saying 2018, that was quite a lot for an assistant role without much prior experience in the field, and as it being my first job ever in London. But I had the audacity. To walk in and demand. I actually demanded politely, of course. I did not ask, because I knew that I deserved it for the work that I had been doing and for the work that I was about to do. Now, whenever I kept quiet in my previous jobs before that, and even afterwards, of course I was not considered for a pay rise. No one knew what a freaking great job I was doing. Same with my fitness coaching, which was my first business. My first mentor back then had to really push me to self-promote my business and how great I was at it. I mean, seriously, what is it with self-promotion, selling, and us women? It's like we are ashamed to self-promote. It's like we're waiting for someone to come up to us and be like, stop being so icky, stop being too much. Like, who do you think you are? You are so full of yourself. And you know what? Maybe they will. And you will have some people that will do that. Why? Because as women, we are conditioned like that when we are growing up. But seriously, do you even care? Do these people pay your bills? Do these people pay for your life? Even more importantly, are they going to be paying for the life that you want? For my business owners, if you have a service or a product that is going to be changing someone's life, it is a disservice to not sell to these people. If you follow me on Instagram, you would see that I sell quite a lot, but I don't sell in a way where I push my services onto people. I just sell. And this is, as I mentioned before, this is very different to how I used to be when I had my other business. Although coming to think of it, I probably do not sell enough. But why do I do it? Why do I sell? It's because I believe that my coaching is going to change lives. So if I don't sell, I am doing a disservice to the people whose lives I can change. I no longer hold shame to do it. Are men considered too much when they sell? Of course not. In fact, they're considered unnatural at it. They have the audacity because they are men. They were conditioned differently when growing up. Like, if you're a woman, think of it. If you had boys around you, okay, and you've been told to be a good girl, to stay quiet, and then when the boys were causing chaos, they were just being boys. It's okay, just leave them be. They're just being boys. What do you mean? Men do not get told to soften their opinion. They do not get told to soften their wins. Yet, with women, we are shamed for shouting our wins. God forbid a woman talks about how much she loves money, how she wants to make even more money. Even as you're hearing me saying that, what is the feeling that comes up? How do you perceive me when I say that I fucking love money? I want to make more money. I never want to stop making money. Like, I know if I say that in front of certain people, they're going to recoil. They're going to be like, how is she talking like this? Is it just about money with her? How dare she? It's because of the way we were conditioned growing up. Now, when I say selling, it is really important to notice this difference, okay? I'm not saying pushing your service onto people to the point. The best example, we all know that salesperson when you walk into a shop and they're just like an octopus. They just won't leave you alone and you can't shop in peace. You end up walking out quicker than you came in. We're not talking about that. think about it this way. Does your favorite coffee shop ever stop selling? No, it's always open. And you would probably be devastated if you go in the morning to get your flat white and it's closed. Or they're like, we're not serving you flat white today. We just don't want to serve you. How devastated would you be? They're selling every day and you can just walk in, buy what you need to buy, and then leave. You're walking in and out whenever you choose. The same with your service. You are there self-promoting, you are there selling, and whoever buys, if they're your dream client, amazing, fabulous, they bought. And whoever doesn't stop by, that is fabulous as well. I was going to say you cannot, but you also do not want to attract everyone. But what I am saying is nothing should stop you from self-promoting your amazingness. More women need to do it so that they inspire more women to do the same. And to tie it back to your bank account equals your self-worth, you will only feel ashamed to self-promote, and you feel icky if you do not believe that you are good enough at what you do. Now, excuse me. Now, if that is literally the case and it's just a matter of knowledge, then I suggest that you go and get that knowledge. But I dare say audacity takes you longer because you can still start and you get knowledge along the way. Most people I know, both personally and people I follow, they were never ready when they started. A lot of people took on big fish clients before they even knew how they were going to serve them. And they just learned along the way. It's the audacity. Audacity takes you longer than anything else can. If it is a matter of telling yourself consciously, I'm good at this, I know I'm good at this, but there is something deep down that you feel like it is holding you back, that is your self-worth. And when subconsciously, unconsciously, you are holding yourself back, unconsciously, you believe that you are not good enough. And by the way, when I say this, like subconsciously, you believe you're not good enough, these beliefs, they always stem from childhood. There was a specific childhood event that made you believe that you're not good enough, which affected the trajectory of how you go on about your life. That belief of you not being good enough is going to affect how you show up. It is going to affect how visible you make yourself be. And if you are not visible, you cannot make money or as much money as you want, because if you are hiding yourself, how do you expect money to find you? Now, that is in the simplest terms. We could go down the rabbit hole with this. We could go down the spiritual route, the mental route, the physical I wouldn't even touch, because first you need to be that person, to act in line with that person, and then you will just have it in reality. That belief will hold you back from making yourself seen. Therefore, you would have the fear of being seen because there is some negative consequence or consequences that you attached to making yourself visible. For example, when you were younger, someone laughed at you in class, or you said something and the teacher made fun of you. Therefore, you took it on as a child that my ideas are ridiculous, I am not good enough. Therefore, you go on, affects the trajectory of your life. When you start your own business, you do not self-promote because you believe that people are going to make fun of you. If you are sitting in a work meeting, you will not speak up, you will not talk about your ideas because you fear that you're going to be laughed at. And that, of course, in return, stops you from making the money that you want to be making, stops you from growing the business to the extent that you want to grow it, to the extent that you see it growing, but subconsciously you are holding yourself back from doing so. You are leaving a shit ton of money on the table by not showing up, and even more by not showing up as yourself. So a few months ago, I mentioned in public, this was on Instagram, that I'm starting over at 33. Long story short, closed my first business, and now this is my second business. I ended up moving back home after 10 years of living abroad. I've been starting from scratch. I had a longish break between my first business and starting my second. So I had to move back home, start from scratch. And anyway, I went public with this. I mentioned it on Instagram, and the traction that I got was just crazy in an amazing way. And it made me realize how many people are going through the exact same thing. So many people, I say many people, so many women are going through the same thing. We are all in the same boat, but no one talks about it because it's almost like they're ashamed of doing it. Like, was it uncomfortable talking about it in public? Yes, it was. It was very vulnerable. But me being vulnerable like that, it almost like flipped the switch and gave permission to other women that it's okay, you can do that, and gave permission to other women to be vulnerable. Lots of women came forward after that and admitted that they are going through the same thing. And a lot of them said, it feels like a weight has been taken off me because they were holding on to that shame. Shame, if we're talking about the emotional frequency scale, shame is at the very bottom. It is almost even better to be angry than to feel ashamed, because when you are in that frequency of shame, you're going to attract nothing but shame. It is the lowest vibration that you can have. Staying relatable keeps you broke. You will always have that glass ceiling. Thinking about it, I am sure that you admire certain women, not just women, people, for being unapologetic, for being audacious. So why not be like that yourself? Seriously, why not? I really hope that this video has inspired at least one of you to put themselves out there even more. Have a great week, and I will see you in the next video.